Imagine you're in the middle of a storm. Not outside. Inside your mind. People are judging you. Plans are failing. The person you love is drifting away. And the weight of the world is crashing down. And yet, there you are, calm, unshaken, focused. You feel the chaos, but it doesn't break you. Why? Because you've mastered one ancient trick. Something that made emperors lead with clarity. Soldiers face death without fear. And philosophers walk through life untouched by insults, setbacks, or tragedy. The truth is, most people today are emotional puppets. Controlled by traffic, notifications, opinions, and impulse. One wrong word, and they're triggered. One minor failure, and they're spiraling. One unanswered text, and they feel worthless. But Stoics knew better. They had a psychological weapon, a mental lens so powerful. It could take pain and turn it into peace, failure into growth, and even betrayal into strength. This one Stoic principle is so simple, you might miss its power. But when you understand it, truly live it, you become emotionally unbreakable. This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them, turning down the noise of the world, and turning up the voice of wisdom. What is this trick? How does it work? And why is it more important today than ever before? Let's dive into the Stoic mindset and discover the one ancient secret that can harden your mind like steel and soften your heart with wisdom. The emotional epidemic. Asterisk, asterisk. We live in an age of noise. Scrolling, swiping, comparing. Constant input. Constant judgment. Every day, your emotions are under siege. Not just by life's challenges, but by algorithms, headlines, opinions, and expectations. It's no wonder anxiety, depression, and emotional burnout are at all-time highs. You stub your toe. You're mad for an hour. Someone doesn't text back. You question your worth. You see someone richer, younger, prettier. You feel behind. Emotionally, you're not in control. You're on a leash, and the world holds the rope. The irony is, we think we're more advanced than ever. But mentally, we're fragile. We break easily. Our self-worth is tied to likes. Our peace is dependent on external conditions. It's a recipe for emotional chaos. And here's the worst part. We've been trained to believe that reacting emotionally is normal. That your emotions are you. That if you're angry, you have to yell. If you're sad, you have to collapse. If you're triggered, you have to explode. But the Stoics would laugh. Not because they don't care, but because they do. Because they knew that reacting impulsively, emotionally, blindly, that's slavery. And your job is not to be a slave. You were born free. But you're living like a prisoner to your own emotions. So how do we fix it? Is there a way to actually feel emotions without being ruled by them? Yes. The Stoics found it over 2,000 years ago. And the beauty is, you don't need therapy, money, or a monk's robe to use it. You just need one shift. The Stoic trick. The dichotomy of control. The Stoic trick that makes you emotionally unbreakable is this. Focus only on what you can control. Let go of what you cannot. Asterisk, asterisk. That's it. That's the formula. It sounds simple, but its power is extraordinary. This is called the dichotomy of control, and it was taught by Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, who became one of the most unshakable minds in history. He said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Your actions? Up to you. Your opinions? Up to you. Your discipline, effort, and mindset? Yours. But other people's thoughts? Not yours. Traffic, illness, aging, rejection? Not yours. The past? Not yours. The weather? Not yours. What someone posts about you online? Definitely not yours." Now here's why this trick is powerful. Most of our emotional suffering comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. You try to control how others see you. You worry, overthink, filter yourself. You try to control outcomes, and you fear failure. You try to control everything, and you end up paralyzed by fear, frustration, and anxiety. But the moment you divide the world into two categories, mine and not mine, you regain power. You start to see clearly. Someone insults you? That's their mind. You control your response. You lose a job? That's external. You control your effort and attitude. Your partner leaves you? Painful, yes, but you control how you move forward. You begin to build a fortress in your mind, not by pretending life isn't hard, but by mastering where your energy goes. You stop pouring fuel into emotional fires you can't extinguish. You stop chasing control where there is none. And in doing so, you free yourself. This isn't suppression. It's precision. You still feel, but you don't drown. You still care, but you're not controlled. That's emotional freedom. That's what the Stoics called eudaimonia, a state of human flourishing rooted in virtue and reason. And it all starts with this one mental lens. Is this in my control or not? Modern application. Using the trick in daily life. So how do you actually use the dichotomy of control in real life? Let's break it down into practical moments, the kind you face every day. Mobile phone scenario 1. Social media comparison. You scroll Instagram. Someone your age is a millionaire with a yacht. You feel behind, anxious. Pause. Ask, is this in my control? No. Their life path? Not yours. The algorithm? Not yours. Your reaction? Yes. Now reframe. I control my focus. I'll use this as inspiration, not envy. Emotional chaos becomes clarity. Brain scenario 2. Rejection or failure. You apply for a dream job. You're ghosted. Panic hits. I'm not good enough. Pause. Ask, what can I control? Not their decision, but you can control your preparation, your next steps, your attitude. This changes everything, because now you're not a victim. You're an agent of action. Speech balloon scenario 3. Someone insults you. They say you're stupid, arrogant, useless. You want to lash out, defend, collapse. But ask, can I control their opinion? No, but I control my self-worth, my behavior, my values. Suddenly, their insult is just wind, and you are the mountain. This is how the trick works. You use it every time your emotions try to hijack you. Every time you feel like screaming, quitting, comparing, or shrinking. You pause, breathe, ask, is this in my control? If yes, act. If not, let go. This tiny habit becomes your armor. Over time, it rewires your brain. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing uncertainty. You become dangerous. Not in a reckless way, but in a calm, composed, deeply grounded way. And that's what makes you emotionally unbreakable. Real-world examples. Stoics in action. Let's look at how this trick created legends. Epictetus, born a slave, crippled, abused. Yet he said, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about things. He couldn't control his chains, but he mastered his mind and became a teacher of emperors. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, dealing with war, betrayal, and a plague. But his journal, Meditations, never complains. Instead, he writes, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He lived surrounded by chaos, and still ruled with grace. Nelson Mandela, not a Stoic by label, but Stoic in spirit. Imprisoned for 27 years. Tortured, isolated, And yet, he emerged forgiving, wise, and focused on unity, not revenge. Why? Because he focused on what he could control. His mind, his spirit, his purpose. These were not gods. These were humans, like you. But they lived by a principle that turns suffering into growth, pressure into strength. You can do the same. Emotional mastery. What happens when you live this way? When you live by the dichotomy of control, your life transforms. You stop reacting to every trigger. You respond with clarity. You stop fearing failure. Because you only judge yourself by your effort, not outcome. You stop needing validation. Because your worth isn't outsourced. You become emotionally bulletproof. Not cold, but clear. Even pain becomes purposeful. You get rejected, you grow. You fail, you learn. You're insulted, you rise above. Suddenly, nothing owns you. Not success, not failure, not people, not circumstance. You own yourself. And that is the rarest freedom in the modern world. Most people are trapped, not by chains, but by their own emotions. But you have a key. You don't let life dictate how you feel. You dictate how you show up to life. That's the Stoic edge. And the best part? It's available to you, right now. Every moment. Every breath. You don't need to wear a robe or quote Latin to be a Stoic. You just need to decide that your emotions are not your master. You need to remember what Epictetus taught. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This one trick, the dichotomy of control, is more than a tool. It's a revolution. It teaches you how to think, how to feel without falling, how to suffer without breaking. It's what makes you emotionally unbreakable. Because when the world shakes, your foundation does not. And that's rare. That's powerful. That's Stoicism. If this message hit home for you, don't just nod and scroll. Apply it. Live it. And if you want more Stoic wisdom like this, hit that subscribe button and join a community of thinkers, builders, and warriors who choose freedom over fear. Share this with someone who needs emotional armor. Because the world doesn't need more reactors. It needs more masters of the mind. You were born free. Don't die a slave. Live like a Stoic. Would you like me to format this into subtitles, chapters, or add background music cues for video editing?